My name's Michael Berry, and I teach a course called Need Finding. And that's a form of kind of applied anthropology for engineers and designers. It kind of is based on the assumption that if you understand people's needs, you'll be better able to create products and services for them. Design interviewing is in many ways similar to regular interviewing, but with a little different focus. We want to understand people in such a way that we can design for them. We want to understand their needs and their aspirations, and we want to understand what's important to them. So unlike traditional interviewing, where often you just want to understand what they do, for design interviewing, you want to understand why they do it. And we go after stories and meaning. So I must say design interviewing is something that gets used virtually every day. It is used to understand people in all of our work. So whether it is working with a client trying to create a new product, whether it's going into an interview, and it could be an interview where we are trying to convince someone to hire us, or interviewing a student about their project and what they're working on. So this notion of trying to understand why people do things has many, many uses, and design interviewing is kind of the core of getting at this very powerful qualitative tool. Students are always concerned about, how do I get a job? It's often useful not to go in simply selling yourself, but going in trying to understand the people who want to hire you. You will discover that they find this very, very useful. So having the tools to interview and open up someone about what's important to them, about their company, how it works, and how to be successful in that company is something that design interviewing gives you the skills to do. And you'll find that within an interview, it's a kind of informational interview, but at some point, they'll go, wow, you're asking some really good questions. Tell us about yourself. And it's in that transition that we find this kind of interviewing is very useful for someone looking to find new work. Design interviewing gives you an approach to first get to know them, to get them comfortable with who you are, and we refer to this as building rapport. And going from there, we then unpack what's ordinary and normal in their lives, and then move it on to the subject that you are interested in. So these are sort of the elements of whether you're approaching a professor or a student, ways of beginning to get to know them and open them up. When you go out and begin to talk to professors and other folks, you can do what's called an expert interview, where you want them to talk about what they are experts in, right? Where they have published this kind of information and what they're known for. What you're going to find is, gee, I could go online and probably look up most of what they've written and said. And if they're just repeating that, it's not a very good interview. Design interviewing goes beyond that. Design interviewing looks at lived experience, first-hand lived experience. Not what I've written down, not what I've published, but the experiences of both success and here's the really important part, failure, that really are central to who they are as human beings, what are their needs, aspirations, and those are the materials that if you are trying to understand the world in a different way, those are the things that begin to open up possibilities of thinking in different ways.